To prove what time I'm recording this, behind me is the opening ceremony for the Edmonton Oilers for this season. I just got home. I just got everything set up. I'm wearing stars and I'm wearing flames. Why? Jiri freaking Hudler. The article I saw was from the Detroit website, and they showed him in his Detroit gear. I'm sure this is not a time where teams need to be fighting over who. No, he's going to be wearing your gear. No, we don't want him in our gear. He's in your gear. And I wore the Mooterist because he never wore that. They should have. Jiri Hudler's a guy that his career's essentially over in the NHL. I hadn't personally heard anything about him having issues or any kind of a personality conflict going on or anything like that. And yet, so basically on an airplane, according to the flight attendant, he'd already been, they suspected him of snorting cocaine in the bathroom on the plane. And he asked for cocaine from the flight attendant. Now, I don't know how high you have to be to tell a flight attendant, hey, do you know what would go nice with this chicken? Do you have any cocaine? Excuse me, ma'am? Yeah. Where do I find the cocaine on this plane? Because I seem to be out. Do you know where I could get? Do you know where I could score some coke? And then when the stewardess points out, flight attendant, whatever word we want to use, the stewardess points out, sir, that's illegal. He flips out on her. And apparently stated and threatened that he could have her killed when they land on the other end of the flight. When they land in Czech, his friends will kill her. Now, we all know that's not true. We've all been on the receiving end. I'm pretty sure most people on this channel will know that when people have been drinking, they say some pretty stupid things. And threats are usually really, really empty. I can't imagine if he was already doing coke, and he had to have been, what was going through his mind as she's denying him. But see, what's funny is, and I wanted to wait to do this video until I was done laughing about it, because it's a funny idea that this guy's on a flight, I assume in front of other people. I assume they weren't just flying him to Czech. So in front of other passengers saying, I need some cocaine. I assume he wasn't asking for Coca-Cola and he wasn't misunderstood. I assume that. But the non-funny side of this is, here we are again, an NHL veteran, played a long time, clearly has a drug problem. And yet if you ask the NHL, you ask Gary Bettman, is there any kind of a drug problem in the NHL? He'll say no. The NHL is very quick to point out that the NFL has felons and Major League Baseball has a steroid scandal and basketball's had its share of players with run-ins with the law, but but hockey is clean. Hockey, and I will say that in terms of players, the way that Hudler acted stands out like a sore thumb, because hockey players generally are considered nice guys publicly, and when a hockey player's a dick to the public, or in this case to somebody who's serving him, it really stands out, because we're like, wait, that's not hockey. That's not hockey players. Hockey players are supposed to be the nice guys. It's supposed to be basketball, football, and baseball players that are pricks to people. And the perception that there's a drug problem, well, that's in other sports. And yet, the 80s Oilers were busted for the fact that there was a lot of drugs in their locker room. And why not? It was the 80s. Everybody was doing drugs in the 80s. Cocaine was in every movie. It was considered just as harmless as pot, basically. Just, you smoke pot, and then you might take a line or two of coke, and that's the perception that was out there. And for athletes who are rich, dealers have no problem giving them freebies up front, because you get them hooked, and then you're on easy street. I have no doubt this still happens in hockey. I have no doubt that while we can laugh at what Hudler did, and I'll link to the article in the description for this video, we can laugh at it. I certainly did today, and all I could picture was, the stewardess come along and saying, what would you like? And him going, do you have any cocaine? And her saying, we don't serve that. Okay, I'll have a chicken. I'll have the Pinot Noir. And if you could smother the chicken in cocaine. And then when she brings it, she's like, there's no cocaine. And she brings him chicken and Pinot Noir. He's like, all right. The chicken was great. The Pinot was fantastic. Really wonderful, wonderful wine. When does the dessert cart come around? Because I'd really like some cocaine to wash this chicken down. And while that chain of events is clearly not what happened and ridiculous and over the top, Hudler has a problem. And there's others who have that problem. And my guess is they're in every single locker room. We hear about the guys that are bad. But it's just like how you'll have a group of people who drink a lot, but it's that one that's a prick when he drinks that you hear about. It's not the ones that can handle their liquor. So the guys that can do drugs and go out on the ice and perform and it doesn't affect them, we're not going to hear about them. The guys who can behave in public, we're not going to hear about them. The guys who, like Hudler, go over the top and say or do something stupid, those are the ones we're going to hear about. So let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And remember, I'm well aware that it's opening night. And I have some wonderful things to talk about regarding the opening night's games. And I missed it. I saw the score while I was at the mall. I picked up my book today. I will be going over that as well. But I missed the first game. So, these things happen. We had to pick up groceries on the way home, yada, yada, yada. But I will be talking to you guys very, very soon. But let me know what you think about the Hudler thing. And I'll talk to you again after.